Hello, you're welcome to yet another tutorial, and in this tutorial I am going to show you, or I'm going to take you around Corel Draw. Alright, then I'm going to show you the basics, and I'm going to be showing you the introduction into Corel Draw. So I'm going to explain basically everything you're seeing on the interface of Corel Draw over here. So if this sounds like what you want to learn, you want to stick around from the beginning of this video to the end so that you don't miss any part of this tutorial. Is that okay? Alright, so without talking too much, I'll just get into my Corel Draw right now, and then we start to learn a few things. Alright, so when you open up Corel Draw, right, what you will be seeing would be slightly different from what I have. Alright, that will basically be because you haven't designed before with Corel Draw. So if you are just new to Corel Draw, you'll be looking out for how to start your way around Corel Draw, and you've not been able to get, this is the right place. You are here. I'm grateful that you are here. You want to stick around to the end of this video, and at the end I should be able to illustrate a lot of things to you. Alright, so without further ado, if for instance you just open up, or you just installed your Corel Draw, and what you're saying probably is something like this, which is the workspace, more like what the workspace looks like. You know, there are different, you can set however you want your workspace to look like. You want it to be more like a page layout, or Adobe Illustrator kind of, you know, or you want to use it for illustrations, you can go ahead and set that. Alright, of course there are a few things here to learn if you want to, what's new, gallery, and the rest of that, but you want to set it to get started. Alright, if you set it to get started, you would have something similar to this, but of course you won't have all of this stuff that I have over here. These are designs I've done over time. So we want to just come over here and click on this button here. So once that happens, you have something like this, dependent on how it is set up. But if you don't have something like this, it's fine. Right, so you can decide to title your work from here. Let's just call it tutorial 1, and then we just leave the page numbering as 1. We leave the primary color mode. Now this is the color mode. You can either choose RGB or CMYK. Now if you're designing for only online use, you can pick RGB, but personally I like going with CMYK because most of the designs I do will probably be printed and the rest of them, and if at all they are going to be run online, there's also a way you can save, and it's just basically for the online usage. Alright, that's not a problem, so just leave it at a default state. Alright, you want to set your dimensions over here. Alright, you want to set your dimensions if you want to set it from here. Alright, there are different sizes over here. We have A1, A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, and we have a lot other ones over here. Okay, but personally I like working with custom design or custom dimension. So what I'll just do, I'll just input 5 by 5, then I leave the resolution to 300 dpi. Alright, that being said, now this is the height. Alright, this is the width. So I apparently set everything to be equal. Now one of the reasons I like setting everything, or like doing my designs on equal dimensions, is because it might be used for any platform. Right, so if you have a design that is a perfect square, you can run it on basically any platform. Of course, you might not be able to fit into some things. Let's say, for instance, Facebook story. It might be a little smaller than that. It might be a little smaller for Facebook story, but of course it will fit in perfectly without cutting away. All right, so that being said, I'll just hit on OK, and this open up for us. All right, now let's go back to the first page, which is our welcome page. Now, if you don't want to go through all of this process that we used to create this, you can just click here and just ignore everything that is here and click OK, and it opens up something like this for you. Oh, okay, sorry, because I already set a dimension, it automatically creates this for me. All right, so for instance, if I had left it the way it was and just click, to automatically create something like that for me. But nonetheless, I'm going to close this and we're just going to work with this. All right, so that being said, I'll just take you through the interface of this. Not to make this video too long, I'm going to take you through the interface of this and then explain some of the things you're seeing that are looking strange right here to you. And by the way, you can as well set this layout to a dark mode. All right, we have the light mode and the dark mode. All right, in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to change this into a dark mode. All right, but for now, let's work with what we have. And if you like the light mode, you can also leave it like this. Personally, I like the dark mode, but I noticed that some people like the light mode, so it's basically better to just keep on with a light mode when doing a tutorial. All right, okay, that being said, before we proceed, I would like you to hit the subscription button if you're not subscribed to this channel. Thank you for doing that. Also, do well to give us a thumbs up, like this video, so that YouTube can recommend it to other people to learn as well. And of course, to encourage us a bit more, you will do well to also share this video to your networks, or you can invite a friend so that the friend can learn as you're learning as well. Don't forget, this is Skill Up by UT, and this is UT Visual Networks. My name is Godwin, and this is UT Visual Network. Like I said before, this is the more like introduction to Corel Draw. So I'm going to be introducing the interface and every other thing that you're seeing on your screen, so that you have a bit of understanding of what we're going to be working with. Of course, I will not be able to go in details into everything because that will make this video very, very long, and I don't intend to keep us too long. All right, that being said, let's get into the tutorial and see what we have over here. So this first bar that you're seeing over here is called the title bar. This is called the title bar. All right, are you following? Oh, sorry, I forgot this is not a physical class. All right, okay, this second bar that you're seeing here, where we have file, edit, view, layout, object, effects, bitmap, and the rest, is called the menu bar. So all of these things that you're seeing right here are the menu that you can go through and see. You know, if I click on this, there is a drop down of a lot of things that we can choose from. And of course, if I come to edit, there are also other things that we can do. If I come to view, there are many other things view can help us do. If I come to layout, there are many other things layout can help us do, same as object, you know, and the rest. You know, I was talking about grid the other time in my previous video. If you have not seen that video, please, you want to do well to go over or to go back and see that. So you can always pick your grid from here as well. You can pick your ruler and the rest of that. Okay, so that being said, this is the menu bar, like I said. All right, so the next bar that follows here is called the standard bar. All right, the standard bar. On the standard bar, we have you want to create a new document and all of that, but of course there are shortcuts that you can always use for some of these things on the menu, on the standard bar rather. All right, so that being said, this very next bar below the standard bar is called the property bar. Now, why is it called the property? Because why is it called the property bar rather? Is because it has the property of whatever you're going to design over here. Let's say, for instance, I double click on this, and this is the square. All right, now this is the dimension, which is a property of this square. All right, this is the angle rotation, which is also a property of this. Then if we're going to type a text, of course, more properties would also appear over here, and these are mirror effects that we can use. All right, that being said, the next bar that we have over here, which is this. Okay, so both this and this, of course, is also the property bar. So right here, over here on our left, is the tools bar. Now all of these things that you're seeing here are tools that you would use, or that you could use for designs. Of course, there are many more. If you want to add them, you can just click on this icon, and there are many more that you can add, and they will appear over there. All right, of course, you might not need all of them at the moment to design, so you want to just keep with the automatic ones that Corel Draw would display for you. That would be enough for you to work with. Then as you grow and as you expand your knowledge in Corel Draw, you begin to see the need for a few other tools. The truth of the matter is you cannot learn all of these tools in one day or in one class. Now on our far right here is what we call the color palette, where we have our colors and all of that. If we click here, we'll see that the color palette expands, and we can also click that and it goes back in. All right, now below here, right below here is what we call the status bar. Now by the time we begin to work on this, you'll begin to see the colors that we have used on this over appearing over here. Let me say, for instance, I pick red. You see red is added. Let's say I change it to gray is added. So the more you begin to pick colors and all of that, it shows you the status that you are currently working with. Of course, you can make this setting over here to give you the kind of prompt that you want to see right below here. All right, that being said, I think I've been able to introduce us into the interface of Corel Draw. All right, over time we'll begin, or in the next video rather, we'll begin to use all of these tools to design. Nonetheless, I did something very quick, and I'm sure some people might be asking, what did this guy do? All right, so before, what we just had here is the empty space. Now if you draw on this, it will not be able to pick anything, all right, because nothing is basically there. Now just to introduce us little into the tools, because we would need these tools in the next tutorial, where we would have a practical class and practical hands-on design. All right, we'll need these tools and this color palette. All right, you can just ignore this as we move along. We'll get to know what this is, but for now this is very important. Now the first tool that we have here is called the pick tool. Now the pick tool is used to drop any active tool. When I say active tool, I mean, for instance, if I click on this rectangular tool, all right, that rectangular tool is activated, and I can right click and draw. All right, now for me to, now if you look at my screen, the cursor, you will see that the little rectangular box is still attached to my cursor, which means I have not dropped that tool. Now if I want to drop this rectangular tool, I just come over here and click on the pick tool. Now as you can see, the rectangular tool is dropped, so it is free right now. I can pick any other tool. All right, draw, and of course I can pick tool and draw. Now when you're drawing, you can always pick multiple tools and draw, or do what you want to do. All right, but the problem now comes when you want to drop the tool and you don't want to do something else that doesn't need that tool, right? So this is where you do that. Now that being said, we will get to see the usage of all of these things as we move. All right, so this particular one right here is called the shape tool. Now let's go back to the pick tool. If you look beneath here, right here, just beneath at the bottom angle, right, you'll see a little arrow. Now if you click on that little arrow, it shows you other tools that is inside the pick tool. Do you understand? Let's say for instance this freehand tool, if you pick that, you see you can have stuff like, of course we have other things on this screen. This freehand tool would help us do some magic things. All right, that is that, but make sure that that particular tool is always set to your pick tool, so it's easier for you to drop your other tools that you've picked. All right, this is called the shape tool, this very one. Now there are also other tools that are inside it. All right, these are other tools that we have in it, because all of these tools are also used for designs. Now as we progress, we're going to learn the usage of all of these tools, but let's just learn the basic ones for now. So this is shape tool. All right, now that being said, this is crop tool. Inside crop tool we also have other tools. We have the knife tool, we have the visual segment delete, we have eraser. All of these tools are very useful, especially if we're going to explore a lot. If we're going to be doing logo, you will probably need the knife tool, you will need the virtual segment delete, right? Very much. And of course for some designs you might need the eraser to be able to erase some things, and we move. All right, so that being said, this is the zoom tool. Now in the zoom tool we also have the pan. All right, so you want to be sure that you know the one tool you're picking. So that is it. Now all of these tools are appearing because I already picked this little angle, so it looks like when I move to one other one, it just expands and shows me what we have right there. That is why. Okay, so over here we have the freehand tool. Now the freehand tool is used to make some drawings, lines and all of that, and you can always reshape them and everything. All right, so that is that. Basically, let's delete this. Let's delete this as well. All right, okay, so over here we have the artistic media tool. If we click right here, we also see other tools. There's live sketch. If you're a person who loves to sketch and all of that, you're going to see this. The smart drawing. So there's a whole bunch of tools that is available for you on Corel Draw to do a whole lot of things. All right, then over here we have the rectangle tool, right, like what I shared with us earlier. We can draw different shapes of rectangle. So that is that. Okay, yeah, okay, like I said earlier, there are shortcuts for some of these things. So for pick tool, all right, there's a shortcut for it. Let's say for instance I draw this and I want to drop that particular tool that I picked. I cannot just click on my space bar on Windows and then that drops it. Okay, now this is the ellipse tool. Ellipse tool draws circles, ovary shapes and all of that. Over time I will show you how to get an equal sized drawing, equal size, without having to start tracing and all of that. Okay, but for now let's stay with the basics. This is still different kind of ellipse, right? But for now let's just stick with the basics that we have and then we continue. All right, so over here we have the polygon tool. Now the polygon tool has many other things inside. You see there is the star, there's a spin, there's a common shape. Over time we would get to understand the usage of all of this, and I keep emphasizing. Now over here we have the text tool. This is another tool that is going to be very useful as we continue in our design journey. Right, we have the text tool. In my previous video I showed us how to draw a table, right? You want to see that video if you have not seen that video. And this is the parallel dimension tool. All right, under parallel dimension tool there are a lot of other tools. that are here that could be used for our design and for our the advancement of our design. All right, that being said, we move on to the next, which is called the connector. The connector is very useful as well. All of the tools that we have here are very useful. Okay, I'm going to do separate videos on each of these tools and explain them in details, but for now just get used to what they are and their usage. This is the shadow, the drop shadow tool. Now, if for some designs you might have seen something like shadow on the design. Let's say for instance I click on this, right, draw my shape, and I want to use the drop shadow tool. Just click over here and it drops, right, and drops the shadow over there like that. Okay, so because I've given it color now, the shadow just showed. All right, you know, so that is basically what it looks like. So you can, you know, just adjust it and, you know, just walk around it however you wish. So that is that for that. This is a transparency tool. Like I said, I'm going to explain as we dive deeper into designs. You're going to see the usage of all of these tools. We also have the color eyedropper. All right, now over here, if you click below, there is something else over here, attributes eyedropper, and all of these things are going to be shown in details. All right, and this as well, we have the interactive fill tool. Now below it, we also have the smart fill tool, we have the merge fill tool. All right, that being said, I've been able to illustrate or show you the names of all of these tools. So you want to keep this video close by and always come back to it as we familiarize yourself with all of these tools. And I believe that you want to stick around because I'm going to be releasing content, valuable content that will help you grow in your design journey, and you don't want to miss any of that. So do well to subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. Like the video already if you haven't, if you're learning or you're getting value from this. All right, that being said, I think for now it's a good place to bring the tutorial to an end. See you in the next video.